We have Lewis here with us, 91 years young, and he's going to share some life advice with us. Are you ready to go, Lewis?
I'm ready.
First question I got for you is, what is something you wish people appreciated more?
Each other. You have to like each other. That's a problem sometimes.
How do we remember to do that when there's so much chaos happening in our lives?
Well, when you get to about 35 or so, you should be able to do that. When you're young, it was always, you get some kid that's a little strange and everybody laughs at him, But when you get to a certain age, you get away from that and appreciate everybody.
Looking back, what advice would you give your younger self?
It's the same thing, just be good to people, be nice and help people that are in need.
Is there a regret that you have that you learned a valuable lesson from?
I always get mad at God
Okay.
because, when I was young, we learned that He could do everything. But then I realized that we're all God. We can do His work all together and help out.
Did something happen that helped you make that switch?
No, not really. But you look what's happening in the world, and it shouldn't be. We should all get together and help each other.
How do we do that? What would your guidance be?
It's like the trouble they're having in the States now with the immigrants, what Trump is talking about to send them back, and even kids. We just have to share things so to make things easier for everybody. It's hard. Like I read the news read the news almost every day, and I watch what's happening in Europe. These immigrants are drowning almost every day, and they're being taken advantage of by some crook. They charge them a lot of money to bring them over to different places in Europe, and most of them drown. That shouldn't be. Some organization should help them.
What's something you used to think mattered a lot, but realized wasn't important as you got older?
Getting rich. When you're young, you always dream of getting to be a millionaire, and then what's the matter? It doesn't make any difference.
So what's more important?
Be happy, and I keep saying the same thing, is get along with people. It's very hard sometimes.
Why do you think we struggle with getting along with people?
Because we're all the same. But sometimes religion divides us. We'll have to learn that thing, that we're all the same, and we can do something about it to help people in need.
If someone's watching this video and they are trying to find their purpose, their happiness, what they should be doing with their life, what guidance would you give them?
My dream is always, it's a dream every day. I got a picture of the wife and I always tell God, lift it up, and then have this miracle. Give me $250,000 trillion to help all over the world, plus $1 million to help somebody close by in Toronto, plus $33 million from CNN to do all this on camera, plus get people that you make, if they want to pay you more money. You got enough money with that to give you money, and plus everybody in Northtown be perfect. Just make a miracle that they're good, and then give them a job altogether to help the world.
You wish for that every day?
Every day. There's a picture when I'm watching TV every day.
What makes you want to help the world instead of just yourself?
We're all the same. And there's so much waste of food. Then there's people that don't have anything to eat, nowhere to sleep, nothing to wear, and then there's people that got too much and they waste it. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be, we should all be the same, like I said.
What was your dream growing up?
That was my dream.
Did that come from your parents? What motivated you or inspired you to have such a big dream?
Mostly because I read about the immigrants in the Mediterranean, that they're escaping just to get a better life, and people in Mexico trying to get there in the United States, and things like that.
What was the most important lesson you learned from your mom or dad?
Be nice to people. They were good parents, and they taught me good things,
If someone watching is struggling to figure out how to go chase their career and ambition, but also be nice, and they think they're two different things. In order to get ahead, you have to be mean, you have to step on people.
Well, you have to work hard in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you're going to survive. But some people work hard and they still starve. Like I was watching a movie yesterday about this guy that went to space, Mexican guy. He was, they were coming to the States from Mexico, the whole family, picking corn and stuff like that. They were getting paid next to nothing. And his dream was to go to the space after he grew to a certain age. And he ended up doing that. He tried to about 31 times, and he wasn't allowed. Then he went there in person, and he got in. That's a dream. You get something that you really like.
How would you define success? And do you think you've had a successful life?
If you're happily married and you got kids and you all love each other and you help the kids, that's success to me. Not like I said before, not becoming a millionaire. Like I got 5 kids, very lucky. So I did my job.
What are you most proud of with your kids?
My kids, I'm very proud of them. My 3 boys, I got them to read when they were young. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You ever heard of that book?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they never worked for anybody. One of them is a professional poker player. He made about $13 million, but he lost quite a bit of it. And the other one, he had all kinds of businesses. He had 14 stores all over North America selling drones. Then he had to stop because the big companies got hold of it. They know it was selling, so they bought him off. And the other one, he sells motorcycle parts all over the world. So they work for themselves.
Have you learned any lessons from your kids?
I don't think so. I think they learned it from me.
It's an honest answer. I like it.
Well, I must have learned something from them.
You talk about books, so Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Is there a book that you think every young person should read today?
The Diary of Anne Frank.
What's the biggest takeaway for you from the Diary of Anne Frank?
Well, the way the way people helped each other. And they protected her, and things were good.
Do you have any plans for your 100th birthday?
Yeah. I got my birthday last year, or this year rather, and my son, he took me to a basketball game. We had the front seat. I don't know how much it cost him. Then he invited about 50 people, and we had a big party at a friend's house. For my 100th, get some girl pregnant. Only kidding with that one.
Is it something that you look forward to?
I look forward to stay healthy, and like I started a breakfast club here, and I got about 12 people that comes every morning. We have breakfast together. Like before COVID-19, everybody used to come downstairs, but now they come downstairs and take their food up to their room. But I try to change that. I got the people, and they come there, and we discuss each other, and then fun, and tell jokes and that. And it works okay. And then I got a game that I started. That's the only game that's been played every day here. And we loved it so much. Get mad at each other. And I got one girl, she covers the chips. I have to lift her up, and she won't do it. I said, put your hand up, you're under arrest. It's a lot of fun. It's called left, right, and center.
Okay.
It's a dice game with chips. Get 6 chips together, and whenever all the chips are gone, and one person got 1 chip, you win the game. It's a nice game. They love it here.
What was the motivation to try to bring people together?
I don't know. I saw that people weren't, getting together, and I thought I'll try this. I invited people, mostly new people that move here, and tell them about it, and they seem to like it. You ask them what they did, where they live, something like that, and you change things around, and I liked it, so I started small, but then it got bigger.
Most people, they might see a problem like that, but they don't do anything about it. Where you said, I'm going to try something, I'm going to do something about it. So what separates you from the others who, might have thought something similar but didn't actually do anything about it?
Well, like people, they come down and they're not interested to talk to people, but I used to call them, so come on and join us. And most of them do. Not most of them, but some do. And it makes me feel good.
What's the key to your relationships? To your marriage relationship? When I asked you about success, you said along, marriage, to the friendships you had. Somebody wants to build their relationships. What advice would you give them?
I don't think I was the nicest guy. I used to play around a little bit. But you learn that you have to be nice to each other. That's the only way you can survive. You can't fool around and make a marriage, and you have to help each other so much and trust each other. I was married twice. The first marriage, I had 2 good wives. And, it was 2 pretty good marriages.
Do you have any regrets that you learned a valuable lesson from?
One regret, one time. I used to work for this guy, and me and the wife weren't getting along together. He having trouble with his wife, and he beat her up. And it's working good. So I didn't beat my wife up, I just slapped her. But I hurt her. I regret that right till now. It was awful, because I wouldn't hurt a fly. But I did it with her, and I regret it all the time. I don't regret leaving her, but I regret hitting her so much.
If you went back and talked to younger Lewis, how should he have dealt with that situation with your wife at the time?
I would have took it easy and take my time to get things better, because it would have worked that way. But this guy, the boss, he said he ruined me because I'd never hit anybody. Never. I tried it, and it hurt me even now.
Is there somebody else that you learned something positive from?
My second wife, she was a good person, and she helped me a lot. Like, I was very shy person, and she helped me in a lot of ways, and it made me a better person.
For people watching, how do they find that person that makes them a better person?
It's a game. It's a chance. Some people fall in love for different reasons, and some people fall in love because the person sort of is good to them, and you're good to them as well. It works out, but there's so many different things that can happen. Nothing works perfect,
How do you want to be remembered?
As a fair person. I had something, though, that I didn't bring up. That just really reminds me all the time. I was driving a truck, and I lost the drive shaft. And coming down a hill, and there were kids crossing the road, people crossing the street there, and I couldn't stop the truck. I was protected by somebody then. Somebody looked after me because it was so obvious that I was going to hit somebody, but I didn't, thanks to God or my guardian angel, if there's such a thing. And every day I try to stay away from that road, and because it reminds me, it could have changed my whole life. I was about 24, 25 then. I was very, very lucky.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here and sharing some of your wisdom. And appreciate you a lot, Louis.
It was my pleasure.
To see another amazing interview in our Elder series and get more life advice and wisdom, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Well, we've got Claire with us here today, 82 years old, looking amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
And she's going to share some life advice and wisdom with some questions.
Sure.
You ready to go?
I am.
First question.